So on a song like this, you've got a lot of options. And a lot of people just learn a 3-chord song with the open chords, the cowboy chords. Right? And then, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But then it kind of gets redundant, kind of gets boring, so you want to mix it up. You want to have options to put in there. So the first option that we put in there, and I think this is what's on the record, is the bar chord. So it's a bar D, bar A, down to G, and then the D here, the open D. And another thing that's going on is that he's bouncing between the bass notes and the treble notes. And it doesn't really matter if you hit 1 note or 2 notes in the bass, but the idea is to bounce. Boom, dang, boom, dang, boom, dang, like that. Instead of just hitting the chords. Not like that, but like, right? And then there's also the muting that's going on where he's scratching. So if you just take your hand gently off the chord, so you hit the chord, and then you leave it there, but you release the pressure so you can get a scratch. And the bounce. And these also bass, treble, as opposed to. So. And then on the open chord, you can do that as well. Right? And then another thing that we talked about is we talked about the Boogie Woogie. Putting in the. Now this song is more of a country rock song, a country song, a rock song. So we're not going to do boogie woogie like that, but we are going to put in that boogie move. In the beginning, just put it on the 4th beat. If you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4 hand. The 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? I'm counting it fast. Sometimes I want to count it half that. I would be like 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, and. But for the purposes of this particular song, I'm counting it twice as fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Just because those bounces, boom, dant, they sound. That's what it sounds like to me. And then there's this little lead riff that he does during the second verse, and I don't think I'm playing it exactly the way he has it, but it's pretty close. I think that on the record there's an overdub because it sounds to me like 2 different guitars, kind of being slinky around each other. But so that's like right. And then don't play the riff on the last one because it'll just be easier to get into the chorus if you don't. So what that riff is, you play a verse, and then you come in on the riff. Now, in the song, he doesn't play that riff over and over and over again. I don't play that riff over and over and over again. I'm doing that for practice purposes. So the riff is, instead of doing the bounce on the chord, well, you can still do the bounce on the chord, but for demonstration purposes, I'm going to just use the riff. So I'm doing octaves of D, so I'm hitting the open D string, 1, 2, on the 1, 2. And then on an upbeat, I'm hitting the 3rd fret of the G string. That note is a B. And then the next note I hit is the 3rd fret of the D string, immediately sliding into the 4th fret of the D string, or not sliding, hammering. So it's and after I hammer onto that 4th fret of the D string, I hit the octave D again, which is the 3rd fret of the B string, and then I come down on the B note, which is the 4th fret of the G string. So that's it. And then to end that, I just looped it a couple of times, played it over and over again, just so you get it. But that's not the whole phrase. The whole phrase ends with a downbeat on the A note, which is the 2nd fret of the G string. And then the C note, the F note, which is the 3rd fret of the D string. And then the open G, the open D, I think. That's it. And I bend that. When I learn a new phrase, I try to, sometimes I just go one note at a time. Like that, maybe that's all I can handle at first. So I loop it. 1, 2, 3, and. 1, 2, 3, and. Right? 1, 2, 3, and. 1, 2, 3, and, or 1, 2, 3, and, and, 1, 2, 3, and, right? 1, 2, 3, and. So that's that minor third there. And remember, in blues and rock and country, you always want to, you know, unless you're playing a minor, that's definitely a minor. You don't really want to land on that minor third hard unless you immediately move to the major third. And in country, I think it's a real move, like what a piano would do. And in blues, it would be more of a bend. So that chorus, you know, the normal way to play it is just to play the chords like cowboy chords, right? So we're going to just put a little bit of embellishment in there. So what I do here is I hit the G and I'm bouncing. So I'm playing the G chord with the open B string. So you know there's a lot of different ways to play an open G chord. So this first one I'm hitting with the open B. And I'm then putting my ring finger down on the B string to that other G chord that's got this down here on the D. It's the B string, but it's the D note. So I go. And in the chord, what that move is, I'm going from the open B, which is the third of a G, to a fifth, to the fifth. So it's like G, B, D, B. You can do it twice. Yeah. So on the D, I'm just doing the boogie move. And then on the A, I'm doing, I'm playing an A with one finger barred here. I'm doing the bounce. And then I'm coming in with my pinky. Some people use the ring finger. Right now it's just more comfortable for me to use my pinky. I'll use both. I'll do one way, one time, and the other another time. If I'm not thinking about it, the fingers just go wherever, you know. And then on the last G here, instead of doing this move on the B string, which I could do again, but since we have this theme of the boogie thing, which is a fifth to a sixth, I do the boogie thing on the open G. And the open G boogie is when you play the open G. I've got the D down here on the B string, third fret of the B string, and no third. I'm not playing this low B here, and I'm also sort of muting it. This finger is touching the A string, so when I play this open, the only notes here are G, D, G, D, G. So it's a power chord. It's an open power chord, and so. At the end, what I did at the end of the song, I just, I don't know if they do it or not. I repeated the A, G, D 3 times, and then I just did a cadence, A to D. So if coming out of the chorus, it would be. The other thing that I haven't mentioned yet is the guitar solo. Now, the guitar solo on this particular song is pretty simple. It's based right around the rhythm. I'm going to demonstrate, and then I'll show you what it is. Okay, so yeah, you got the D, bounce, pick up that A on the 5th fret of the E string, then hit the A. I like the Jimi Hendrix style A chord here. So instead of hitting a bar, I'm going to put my thumb here on the A and then just play the 4 top strings and mute this A string. Slide down to the G, bounce, and riff. Same thing again. And then this time I just hit that 4th fret and I slide it up. It's this same shape. It's kind of like a D. So here's the D. Here's your original D. I'm going to refret this like this. So I'm barring, this is a bar, just 3-string bar, half a bar. And this finger here is the 4th fret. So I just slide this finger all the way up to the 9th fret. This is a G chord. It looks kind of like an E minor chord, because an E minor would be this. But we're not playing the E, so it's not an E minor chord. It's a G chord with the B as the lowest note. So coming out of that riff, and then I'm up here on this G chord in this particular shape, and I put my pinky down on the high E string, and then I lift it up. And then I put my pinky down on the B string, and I pick it up. And then I put my pinky down on the G string, and I pick it up. So it sounds like this. Then I come back down to the D down here, and I do the exact same thing. In terms of the shape, it's the same shape. And then I hit the A, boogie, G, boogie. So that whole thing again. So I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. There's lots of options. There's lots and lots and lots of different options that we can get into another time. Just, you know, where you put the 5, where you put the 6, where you put the minor 3 to 3 move. There's infinite possibilities.